Have you ever had anybody methodically and systematically disciple you? If you're like most of us, the answer is no. We don't even we don't have much of an understanding even of what it means to disciple. A lot of times we've just turned that into education. And so we go to Bible studies for our whole lifetime. And that's our discipleship. But that's not the way Jesus did it. His was action based, it had to do with obeying him in a set of very specific things he was telling his disciples to do. And the idea was to take a human who's living like over here, and then God's heart is here, and to align that human with the heart of God. But you can't do that from God's side. He has to help us, but it has to be done by the human. We have to keep making decision after decision that move us into alignment with God. So we started, in the Philippines when we lived there, we were in the middle of the great harvest of the Philippines. And so there was a new church planted every 8 hours, and it happened for 15 years nationwide. About 15% of the entire country started attending born again churches. And it was a big deal. It was in the news, but for the impact on me as a pastor was, what do you do when 25 people come to church and they have come to give their lives to Christ? Their friends have gathered them, they've been evangelizing them, and they brought them to church, and now they come and find Jesus there. What are you going to do with them? Because next Sunday it's going to happen again, and the Sunday after that. And I was looking around us in Manila, and there were there were big churches. You plant a church, and I asked a friend once, Jerry Holloway, I said, what do you do to make your church grow? And he said, right now, don't mess it up. That's your only thing you got to have in your mind. Well, I saw church after church uh, get big and then implode and fall down. And it's always the same thing, the crisis of non discipleship. When you pull people together and you say, you've received Jesus, but there's no life change. And then you hold them together and you say, we're the Christians, we're the Christians. And then you get them, and then there's money, there's sex, there's power. It's the same thing the world struggles with. And you just bring all that in the church. And because the lives of the people are not aligned with God's heart, as expressed in the Bible so clearly. So that lack of alignment is really, I think, a global crisis of non discipleship. So I decided in those days that our number one priority had to be developing systematic discipleship. And I saw other churches, especially churches in like a deep Baptist tradition, I saw their approach. It was completely educational. And it was like, memorize your Bible, go to Bible study. Some of them go to Bible study every single day. That's discipleship. But I saw there wasn't necessarily alignment. Even with that much Bible study, there wasn't alignment. And so we came up with an idea 25 years ago for something called action discipleship, where Bible study, that's for life. Thank God we have a Bible. Thank God. I have worn the covers off of so many Bibles, and I will never stop digging into the Word of God. But the problem, and it's all the way back to the Old Testament, the prophets spoke about it, and it's this lack of alignment and this habit of a human to build a silo for God stuff, so that this is Easter week. And so I was reading those stories in the gospel again, and you get this high priesthood. And they're going into the holiest areas of the temple. They are making blood sacrifice. They are crying out with prayers to Yahweh. And at the same time, they're holding meetings on how to kill Jesus and to kill Lazarus, because he was dead for 3 days, came back to life, and now he is leading people to Christ. And they decided to kill him. I'm thinking, how can this be so possible with a human, that we make a silo for God, and then we have a silo for all, real life? That one's about money, and we don't let these things flow into one life. For me, that's what Jesus was all about, was the alignment of the human with the heart of God. And he needed to set us free from Satan, spiritual power over us, and he needed to allow us to have the birth of a new heart, and he needed to put the voice of God inside of us, not just in the Bible, not just in the temple, not just in the songs, not just in nature, but inside of us. We needed that. But as he coached people in their walk and as he commanded them as Lord and as Master, it was always about this action discipleship alignment. So we've been working with young people in this way of discipling them for many, many years. And in Thailand, we've been using it with young people who they don't know who Adam and Eve are. They have never touched a Bible. They're Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim. They have no Christian background. The concepts they don't even understand nothing. Okay. So how do you start? Do you have to educate them for 5 years to get them to know all the content of the Bible before they can understand the gospel? We decided that what they need is to meet Jesus. They need a personal encounter, a mystical personal encounter that is not just doctrines, it's an experience. And through this experience, they meet Jesus. And having met Jesus, now they need to grow in him. And they'll just ask us, what do we believe? Basically, is how they say it. What do we believe? And they're already saying, my drawbridge is down, my heart is open. You tell me what the Bible says. I'll build my life on that. And then I'll learn my Bible myself over time. So, how do you do that? You do that with action discipleship. And we've been doing it. It works beautifully. An action approach, a volitional approach where humans make changes in their own life to match God. Now, what we've never done, and this is the part I want to bring out, young people are going to spend 8 to 10 hours a day online, then we should be there doing discipleship. And I keep going around, I look in churches, and I don't see anybody doing it. Most churches are doing church marketing, and they'll take pictures of church and they'll do videos of church and they put it on social media and they say, hey, church is cool. You should come to church. You'd have it would bless you. You would love church. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using those 8 hours when they are in their phones, grabbing their mind, pulling them if they've got a felt need in their heart for a change. And a lot of times they are searching online for a change. And we want to meet them there. So that's the first part, is learning the science of getting in front of their Google searches and using the words that they're trying to find. Because no one's going to say, how do I give my life to Jesus and start following him in his ways? Like, they're not going to ask those questions. How do I find a calm mind? How do I know what to do with my life? These are the questions they're asking. And that's where we have to get in their way, pay for results, and say, here, we've got something to add on that topic. So once they come through the door, here's the next step, which is, okay, they want to have the change. They've gotten attracted online. And now somebody needs to walk them through some kind of scalable, high quality interaction. And so we thought about it. And first, I thought, let's do something automated. And then certain members of my team said, discipleship will not work that way. It is communal by nature. We have to do it in groups. And there has to be a live human element. Well, that's an impediment to scaling unless, and this is a great idea, unless this pressure to build a scalable online discipleship network pressures us to build a lot of trainers. And that's what I'm really excited about. What if we're able to launch 1,000 online disciple makers? Well, the first step is to actually take 1,000 people through discipleship online. So we boiled it down to a test pilot. And the test pilot is, we want to go online in cohorts. That means, a group that you meet with, only 1 hour a week. This is not a study. It's not even a discussion. We're going to lay down a 6-minute video that says, here is one teaching of Jesus. It's either something he practiced or it's something he commanded his followers to practice. But we're going to lay down one command of Jesus. And the first one is master your things. There's a difference between living beings and things. And, things. And so you master your things. Things are money. Things can be food, things you put in your body. Um, things. Some things are considered to have power, value in themselves, like money. Some things are considered to have power because of in many cultures, the mystical power that's in it, like an amulet. It's a thing. And things and humans, we need things to survive. Like part of things are food. And so all of this is one big, and the cell phone, that's a thing. So it may take a month to get this one right. Master your things, because in Jesus' mind, you ought to be able to give a thing away and not, be happy to do it because somebody needed it, or receive a thing and not feel proud that you have a thing. You shouldn't covet someone else's thing. So, he's got clear teachings about things and his human disciples. The difference. Humans must rule things, and you mustn't allow things to rule you. So we're going to unpack that. But the entire focus of the group is, how do you live this out? Do something about it. So, sometimes they'll have a burn barrel, burn some things that they shouldn't have because they're bad. So we've been working really hard on an online way to do all this. So I want to bounce over real quick and show you my screen. There, I think I'm on it. Yep. And this is our website that just went live. It's called The Jesus Quest. For generations searching for truth, here's the quest to help you find it. Okay. So, it rolls down. This is our pitch. What if there was a path that led to a stronger, unshakable life? And so people sign up for it. 7 challenges. It takes 7 weeks to do. This is challenge number 1, mastering your things. Challenge number 2, forgiving everyone for everything they've ever done to you. Challenge number 3, fix your broken relationships through apologizing to people and taking initiative to fix strained relationships. Welcome children, make them feel honored and special. Do sacrificial actions on behalf of the poor that help them. Do secret good works that no one knows you've done the good work, and pass through the water and start your life over again. These are the 7 that we picked, and we believe that these 7 things, if someone walks you through them and you actually do them, it will help you renew your mind. It'll give you a moral compass, inner strength. It'll help you defeat addictions and distractions, help you stand up for the truth and become a true disciple. So the way it's going to happen is they're going to get a mentor assigned to them by language and time zone. They're going to follow a clear path that's going to take them 7 weeks as a group. And this is the third part, a committed community that they are part of. They're going to know these and they're going to become their friends. And then you're going to experience real growth, not by reading books, not by talking about it, but by doing what Jesus said to do. Now, let me bounce you over and let you see the interface. And guys, this has taken so much energy and money and just a lot. But we've been studying for this moment. I really feel like we've been studying for this moment all along. Okay, so here we go. This is my group. I'm going to lead 1 or 2 groups that will be on USA time zones no matter where I'm at in the world. And so this is my back end of what they'll see. Like this is a community board where we'll talk to each other. This is the plan. Okay, so they're going to open. That'll be the first one. And it's got a video. I'm going to speed this up.
Hi, I'm Chuck Quinley, and I'll be.
Okay, so that was me at double speed. And this one tells them, like how to set themselves up for success. And let me get out of that one. We'll get to know each other. Now they do the first video, then they have their action prompts, and we just work our way through this one quest at a time. We will meet 1 week at a time. Hang on just a minute. Let me try to get back into my. It's a lot of technology. So that's it. That's our push, and I want to start this in the month of May. And so this is an Easter launch. I wanted you to see it first. If you believe that God could use you and that you have an interest, an active interest, because I'm really not trying to get, hundreds of people signed up for this. What I am wanting to do, and you're the first group I want to offer it to. If you're a person that would be able to look around you and say, I want to disciple others. And there are some people I believe I could be the one to disciple them. Now, the beauty of this new approach is you don't have to be the Bible scholar that can say the Hebrew word for this is, all that is gone. That's education. That's important. It's not the same thing as discipleship. Discipleship is working on the alignment of a life with the heart of God. So if you have friends in your circle or people that you believe you could disciple and you want to join Action Discipleship for 7 weeks, the commitment is you got to show up for 7 weeks of meetings. We'll have a prequel where you'll meet the other people in the group, and then you flow through this, and then at the end we'll have a celebration. But there'll be 7 active weeks, 1-hour meeting online. It'll be on Zoom. And that meeting is not a discussion. It's not a Bible study. It's just us all working out how we ourselves are going to live this teaching out. And these things are not like a bucket list where you do one and you go, oh, great, got that one done. You're putting on Christ. You're changing the way you live and you're aligning yourself with Him. So, and maybe you would think, okay, I don't think that's for me. That's fine. But would you pass this video to whoever's in your church? I'm shocked at how many, it's the central activity of the church is discipleship. And how few churches have a minister of discipleship who does anything beyond Christian education. But most churches don't even have one. And when I ask pastors one by one, who's in charge of discipleship for your church and what do you do as discipleship, I get blank looks. And I mean, that's the only thing Jesus said to do. So it lets you know why we're in the state that we're in so many churches. However, there are a lot of churches that their heart is open to this. They want to do better. They just don't know what else to do. And so they're just doing what they've seen others do and what people have taught them, which is let's just study the Bible a lot and go to church a lot. And so all these things are great. Private, personal, pray, have devotions, do all that. That's great too. That's still not alignment. That's preparation for alignment. All I'm trying to do with people is help them, because they have to do it by their own choice, use their volition to line themselves up with the heart of God as explained by Jesus. So if you're interested, that's great. If you're not the one, but you know somebody who might be, or if you are part of a church or ministry and you have a heart for this, you want your own life to be aligned, and you want this to become the core ministry that you do for others. I want to run this as a program for 2 full years. I want to expand it and see how big it can grow. I want to see what the technological issues are. This is what we're focused on. I think We're in a global crisis of non discipleship, and we've got to solve this problem because we're losing the younger generation. And I think this is one key way to deal with that situation. So thank you for standing behind us. This has been working and this is going to work online. We just have to work out all the bugs. So if you're interested, just click thejesusquest.com. Thejesusquest.com. That's where the process starts for getting on board. So please pass this around to anybody that you think it could appeal to. And thank you so very much for standing behind us because it's working.